Paul Condry with Steve Bruce, the athletic director, women's basketball coach here at Indiana University South Bend. 14 seasons. Where's the time gone, Coach?
Fast,
It
quickly.
has been, hasn't it?
Yeah, as you get older, I'm discovering that time speeds up when I'd really like it to slow down.
Our listening and viewing audience may not understand the dynamics, but when you and I first started working together, we both had a full head of hair, and we were probably on the cover of GQ. Not really, but we're just. But
Yeah.
let's just talk about being involved in education-based athletics at the college level for so many years, and not just here at IU South Bend, but also at Valparaiso University. You've had a really storied career. Let's just go back and talk about some of the exciting stops along the way.
Well, I stumbled luckily into college basketball. I spent 15 years as a middle school physical education teacher and coaching some in high school and coaching some in middle school, and I was at the right place at the right time, working at a camp back at Denison University in 1999, and long story short, I ended up at Valparaiso University. I was there for 7 years. That got me into the college game as an assistant coach. Maybe climbed my way up to associate head coach toward the end there, and then kind of got filled up with all the things that I wanted to do, and sought out being a head coach, and so landed here. Been very happy here, and been here for quite a while now.
One thing that people may or may not understand, that you come from a legacy family. Your dad was a very successful coach when he was that was what he did for a career. Let's just talk about your father's influence, and not only for you as a young kid growing up, but also as a mentor and as a guy who you can look back on the many faces that were in your home, that were throughout the course of your life, that influenced you as well as him, and then of course here you are today because of him.
Yeah. Yeah, my father was a hero to many people, and one of those people was me. So I grew up hearing the stories about some of his high school basketball teams and saw pictures, and then he talked to me about how he went about doing things, and just the idea of having folders for them and giving them out motivational handouts and having them wear coat and ties to all the events, and just all the things that I would categorize under being first class. And so I grew up around that. I was very fortunate to grow up in that kind of an environment. My mother, my dad, my grandparents, everybody was that way. So I feel very fortunate that I was able to have that kind of upbringing. And I knew I wanted to be a coach. I always knew I wanted to be a coach. And so I was never one of those people where, you know, somebody asks, "Hey, what are you going to do?" And you say, "Well, I haven't figured it out yet." Like I knew right away what I wanted to do, and so just trying to follow my dad's footsteps. I always say that if I can be 10% of what he was, I'll be doing a pretty good job.
We've done a pretty good job here. Let's talk about last year's group. Tell you, was in the last couple of years, have you had all kinds of injury issues and depth issues, and certainly you've changed your recruiting mindset and philosophy.
Yes.
To try to get more players into the system to maybe prevent some of those situations. Because once again, as we all know, we've been involved in athletics forever. When someone goes down with a knee or a shoulder, whatever the case may be, that's something that's totally not involved in the game plan or the practice plan. So you've got to be able to adapt.
Yeah. Well, not making any excuses, you know. Morgan Wooten, the great high school coach from DeMatha,
Sure.
he had a saying. He said, the last time I checked, it all started at the top. So, you know, we are my responsibility, and injuries happen, and we got to make adjustments. And so maybe we didn't make the proper adjustments last year. We did have some injuries that hurt us, and, you know, we kind of fought our way through it. So that led to me coming into this season here saying, okay, I don't want this situation to happen again. When we have people go down, we got to have strength in numbers and quality numbers as well. So, you know, we set out, we brought in 5 freshmen this year, and we've got depth, and we've got quality depth, and we've got skill, and we've got speed, and we've got depth with skill and speed. So, you know, there's a little bit of a cushion in case we run into the injury situation this year.
All right, let's take a look at the landscape of the roster. who are you expecting to have great years for this women's basketball team?
Okay, well, good question. We have all 5 starters back from last year. So last year we would have started with a sophomore at the point guard, junior at the 2, sophomore at the 3, freshman at the 4, sophomore at the 5. And so we got all those gals back. So expecting them with a year under their belts for every one of them to, take a step forward. Kylie Furman and Kylie Kubik were honorable mention all conference last year. So they were our 2 leading scorers, right about 12 points a game. Different kind of players. Kylie Kubik is a terrific 3-point shooter. I think she was 45% last year. Kylie Furman's more of a get-to-the-rim player. So that's a nice blend. The freshmen that we brought in, really, I'm excited for you to see the group because we've got more speed than we've ever had. Emma Fisher was a gal from Bend Central. They went to the state championship. She was Player of the Year in the Lafayette area. We got Maddie and Katie Gard from Wisconsin. Katie was Conference Player of the Year. Maddie was All-Conference. Their team has won, we'd have to do the research, but they've won somewhere between 95 and 100 consecutive conference games. And all 3 of those kids actually were runners on their high school track team, either in the 100, the 200, or the 400 meters. So we've got added element of speed and skill as well. We got a gal named Taylor Klenner from Indianapolis area, really a solid kind of perimeter player. And then Maddie Schumacher from North Judson, who was small school all-state. So really love our freshman class to blend in with the upper class and the returning starters and see what we can do this year.
You brought in some changes in your coaching staff. Amy Litka is on your staff. She was the head coach and AD at Holy Cross, but Coach Leake's back with you for another go-around. Always good to have another Marine on the sidelines. So let's just talk about your coaching staff. Everybody getting to know what everybody's doing, because let's face it, if you're not coaching them up and teaching them up and loving them up, they're going to have all kinds of problems.
Yeah, well, we've got 6 coaches, including myself. So hopefully, between the 6 of us, someone knows what's going on. But Amy was at Holy Cross. She's going to really help us. So we've taken the Ohio State football philosophy, the Urban Meyer thing of 9 units strong. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but that was kind of his mantra. They took the quarterbacks, the running backs, and split them up into positions, and then their position coach was the unit leader. And their goal was to be 9 units strong. So we've kind of watered that down to a basketball version, which would be 3 units strong, where we have point guards, we have 2s and 3s, and then we have 4s and 5s. And so Terry Leake and his daughter Erin are our unit leaders, assistant coaches for our point guards. Amy Litka and Paige Avery, former player here, who's a GA now, they are our unit leaders for our 2s and 3s. And then Jess Alexander and myself are, and mostly Jess, unit leaders for the 4s and 5s, and then I kind of oversee everything. And the good thing about that is, if their group isn't doing well, then I just get on their butts.
There you go. All right, take a look at the landscape of the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference. The league continues to grow. Ryan Shelton's Indiana University Northwest team enters the league, and they're always a very, very good and talented squad. So that's going to bring a lot more balance here. So give us your idea on the league. Certainly with your core group coming back, you've got to feel good about your chances of maybe potentially making a trip to the Tyson Event Center. Tell me that wouldn't be something special.
That's our goal this year. That's our goal. We got to get there, and everybody's kind of focused in on that as a singular thing to reach for. But the CCAC is going to be like it always is. It's going to be strong, probably be the usual suspects at the top. So St. Francis, St. Xavier, Olivet Nazarene, Cardinal Stritch. And then IU Northwest in addition to that. Now, they lost a lot of players last year, but Ryan does a nice job recruiting, and he's kind of filled his roster back up with some good players. So, it's as you know, it's a very competitive league. We now play 22 league games and 8 non-conference games or non-league games. So I look at it to be like it has been every year. We'll probably send 4 teams to the conference tournament, and we hope to be one of them.
Once again, Steve Bruce, the athletic director and women's basketball coach here at Indiana University South Bend.